And then, alright, we're back on Ustream.
Have you guys found, like, secret passageways and secret doors? Since this is like...
No, I thought I found a tunnel, but I would say it's not a tunnel. But what happened though, they kind of led me to something else down there in the gardener's shed. I opened it up and I opened up the floor and I did an EVP and I did some ghost boxing down there. But I also found out afterwards that the lady that used to live in the mansion, that was the place where she used to be most of the time. Right. Because she had like award-winning flowers that people from all over the country would come and get her flowers. So she was down there a lot, and there's a lot of energy down there. But unfortunately, I did open up the door, and I think there's kind of a creeper down in the woods now. But we won't talk about that. That one chasing me back in the house. Because he snuck through while I was doing my, but I'm leaving him there for now, because he'll be entertainment for the night.
No, they like scared the bejesus out of me, that one. That was,
Yeah, that's what he's good at. He's harmless. He just likes to scare you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's harmless though. He's like a creeper. He like hides behind bushes, and if you go close to him, he'll take off.
Yeah.
I'm like, beat it, go see Jeff. But it's it's definitely, and then the mix of the Native American that's down there is kind of a little, I don't know, they're kind of staying away from each other, but he's definitely down there. He hangs out at the bottom of that dirt path. Actually, me and Pete felt him when Pete Labasco was here. And then you could feel like, me too. He felt like a speed bump. Yeah, you could feel he was looking at us, looking at him, and he was just peeking out behind the bushes. Wow. You know, but he was wicked creepy.
No, I was just being wise. I hadn't felt him out there. Maybe I don't know what I felt there. There's definitely something out there.
Yeah.
Something. So it's going to be fun. Some thermal shots out there. And Loki out there. Loki will catch on things.
You know what? Loki will be a good draw, too, because when Mark's dog was here, they were really active. They loved the dog.
Yeah, they commented on the dog a couple of times.
Yeah, we got a
big dog up that said.
Yeah, we got a straight EVP that said, you know, it's like, what do you think of the dog? And right after it, like within 10 seconds, it says, want to pick him up?
Yeah, no, pick him up. It said pick him up. Pick him up.
I think it said want to too.
Way.
Yeah. It said want to pick him up, and that was a straight without ghost box or anything. That was just a straight EVP.
Yep. I got a cute little mini Australian Shepherd. He's a little mini thing, so he's cute. Everybody wants to pick him up. It's
yeah. He's like a Super Bowl though. He's bouncing all over the place.
Oh, he's crazy.
Yeah. Fucking nuts. Oh, easy. Except in the attic. In the attic, he freaked out and he just came like right by our legs.
Yeah, he just kind of whimpered.
Yeah. Yeah, he just stopped doing everything he was doing and he just stood by one of our legs the whole time.
Yeah.
We'll have to pay attention to see if Loki does the same thing.
Yes,
or
yeah.
if he acts differently than he does.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see what she does.
His dog reminds me of the dog that's with Garfield. He's just bouncing all over the place. What's that dog's name? Odie. He's good. I like your dog though.
My dog's cute. He's got these big fluffy ears, blue eye, brown eye.
Yeah, what's he
no tail. When he gets excited, he wiggles his ass because he doesn't have a tail. He's really cute.
He pisses on the floor.
He's fucking rough. He pissed in my face the other day. I was so mad. I picked him up. I haven't had him I get out of bed, I go to the bathroom early in the morning, come back, he's laying in my pillow. It's like, come on, move. So I pick him up and he pissed on me. Yeah. It's like, son of a bitch.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was rough.
Think he knew he did it?
I think he did.
Yeah.
I swear to God, he was laughing. I don't know if dogs smile, but I think he was smiling.
He says, oh, I'm just a dog. I wouldn't do that on purpose.
You bald bastard. He pissed right in my face.
I was just working. At one of our relatives, I won't say names, but the whole yard was filled with dog shit and leaves. Not a good combination.
Relative?
No.
Don't guess.
I'm not going to guess.
She needs Sarah.
I'm going to guess how many, she's like our only listener. Look, she just hung up. Now we got nobody.
Nah.
No, I don't know. Hey, actually, you know when the show's going to air?
When
When we're here doing that investigation.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Well,
gonna
the
hear
play
that
it.
time. No, we're gonna scare people away, they don't wanna hear this stuff.
So here's some entertainment for you.
Yeah. Low budget entertainment,
Yeah.
my boombox.
Oh boy, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we get some good activity. I mean, you're gonna be Ustreaming it, so maybe we'll.
Yeah, well, what I was thinking of doing for the Ustream is I'll do a few ghost boxes, you know, like in with all each group or something.
Yeah.
Because we'll be able to split up into groups, and like each group will do like a ghost box with them, so it's on. You know, everybody will have their own video on there. Right.
Once you try the Echo Box, you're gonna be like, dude, this is awesome, because it's not like loud. It's not like a wow, wow, wow. Like you have to really focus to hear something. Like you can flat out hear. Like one said a sentence to us, I was like, oh my god, but this is awesome. Awesome thing.
Yeah,
You haven't used one of those yet.
so it's kind of like the ghost box, but it doesn't pound your head.
No, yeah, exactly, but it doesn't pound your head, and it will like repeat the response like a few times, like as an echo. Like
Oh, really?
Like,
I want to check that out. I can't even imagine that.
Is it more like an obelisk?
it's wicked cool.
Somebody's bringing
Well,
me
no, it's Echo Box.
I don't trust the Oculus.
I don't know.
I think it said something out of the blue, and then you try to make up a story to fit that.
Well, no, I mean, not necessarily, if it matches kind of what you're saying or what you're doing.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the
It's no
Oculus.
different than the ghost box. The ghost box picks up 92.7 here.
Except when the spirit's pissed off because you're making up the wrong story about them.
I used to get that on the cruise one.
You know, that's what's going to happen with the Oculus. It'll be like, oh, you're Mary and you drowned in the lake? It's like, no, I'm Bob and I got hit by a train. Oh, you know?
For fuck's sakes.
It's like, it's, the Oculus, it leads you in a direction that,
It's like a bad psychic.
yeah, it's like a bad psychic.
Can we talk about that?
No, we
We're not gonna
shouldn't.
talk about bad psychic.
But anyway, it's,
Good now, boys. Be good.
yeah, real deal. I have no problem with whatever. What?
What are we talking about anyway?
Just shut up. All right, anyway, so that's, hey, actually, we never asked Allie, I know what her answer's gonna be. We never asked Allie our Ouija board question of the week.
Oh, yeah. No, we haven't. All right,
What?
What's your opinion of the Ouija board?
what do you think about the Ouija board?
Honestly, I have mixed feelings
Oh,
because
who's blowing us off, dude?
in a way I feel like if you don't know, then you can open.
Allie's done, we're done.
Time for real guests.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like messing with it really because you never know what's going to come forward, but other tools that you can use kind of act the same as the Ouija board
Right.
that you can use. So I don't know. Like, you just have to be careful on how you do it, protection, I guess, and make sure you close whatever you open when you're using it.
Yeah, but what do you think of like,
I
what do you think of like kids using it at parties and stuff? Those are the
No,
ones
I
that,
wouldn't see the kids. No, I don't like how it's being sold to kids. 'Cause
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing.
that's when I saw my first spirit.
That's when it gets scary.
That's when I saw my first spirit, when I was 9 years old and I was at a birthday party, and they were using the Ouija board. And, this old man sat in a chair, like, looking at me the whole night, and I was like, I couldn't wait till the morning, I just freaking booted it home, and I remember that like it was yesterday. Right. And they were using a Mikey Lopez's, he was using a,
Oh, yeah. Mikey Lopez.
Yeah.
You told me about this story once.
yeah, all right. It freaked me out. That was the first spirit I ever saw. It's like, it was, I didn't know until now when I look back and know what it was. But I mean, it was a full apparition that was just sitting there watching me.
Okay. So guys, we're just about ready for our next guest. You guys ready for me to introduce her?
Yeah, actually, Allie, quickly, could you give your PayPal thing quick?
Yeah, Allie, give us the information for that investigation fundraiser this weekend.
Yeah, if people want to buy tickets through PayPal, they can send it to AllisonHarrington81@yahoo.com. Or you can check out my Facebook page, at Allison Harrington. And Loki actually has an event page for the charity investigation for Loki. It's public, so you can type it in and check it out, and all the information's on there.
Sounds great. We are looking forward to it. We will push it and push it and push it. And, it looks like so far we're going to have a full house, so we have plenty of room. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of people, so it'll be good.
Okay, Ellie Harrington, thank you so much for calling in.
Awesome, guys. I'll see you Saturday. Can't wait.
Okay, see you then. See you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome author Dina Ray to the show. Hi, Dina.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, Dina, how's it going? Hey, Dina. Yeah. Dina, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do, what you wrote.
I'd love to. I've written 5 books, 4 are fiction, and my most recent is my first crack at nonfiction. My first book is called The Last Degree, and it's about conspiracy, and especially with Freemasons and New World Order. Then my second book is called Halo of the Damned, and again, there's conspiracy overtones, and that one's about Paul and Rachel, take a walk of fear.
They sound very interesting. I heard the topic, the line grabbed me because we're not talking paranormal now, we're talking more conspiracy and all about the pharmaceutical companies and how seriously.
Do you think they have a cure for cancer and they're hiding it from us?
I probably think so.
Well, I tend to think so, but then Steve Jobs died, and he had, more money than most people, so...
Maybe he wasn't worth the billions and billions that they make from it.
Right.
Just to save him.
Right.
Because, if they find a cure, that's it. That's a multi-billion-dollar corporation gone. That's sad.
Well, I agree with you on the cancer, but, even more recently, I think this whole Ebola thing is, they've already got an Ebola vaccine in the works. How convenient is that? I think that's GlaxoSmithKline, and...
Yeah.
I
had a post on
a mandatory vaccine that they just doubled their revenue.
I had a post on my Facebook page. More people have married Kim Kardashian than have died from Ebola. Americans. It's true. It's true. Yeah. Come on, Ebola. It's really? Come on. It's when it first came out, it's oh no, your skin gets all blistered, you die in 24 hours, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. And, and then when it's media, we were just talking about media, last time, and it's I was saying to you, I haven't watched the news in probably about a year and a half now, and it's Mark was just saying, he's sick, I said, are you sick of all the first 12 stories being miserable? And he's yeah, and it's more people are getting sick of the media. That's where a shift is going to start to come that, after a while, there'll be people that will cure cancer, and they'll do it underground. That's what's going to happen. And it'll get widespread, and then that will destroy that industry, because, it's about time that, it's time for things like that to go.
Healthcare, the whole Obama care is quite a move, quite a way to universalize our healthcare. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's not about healthcare. Get this under one big umbrella, so we don't have to snoop around from insurance company to insurance company.
It's ridiculous.
Just not everybody's personal business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm self-employed, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
you know? I mean, I don't even have
It's
choices.
ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I switched to Mass Health, which I haven't seen a doctor in 10 years because I kind of agree with you. It's just like, I think they're trying to sell drugs to make money. So, I mean, last time I went to a doctor, I'll tell you what happened. That's why I don't go to a doctor.
Why?
I went to the doctor and says, oh, you have blood in your urine. And he's like, and you need to lose 20 pounds. And I'm like, really? It's like I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. And it's like, I don't want to look like you, like a marathon runner. But anyway, they told me I had blood in my urine. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good. So I go and set it up. I have this test. They did the most violating thing I've ever had done to me to test it. They stuck a tube up your,
Oh, yeah.
and it's filled with cream and it's nasty. It's not a good feeling. And then when I'm done, I'm like, oh, so what's the results? He goes, oh, you're all set. You don't have blood in your urine. And I'm like, really? And it's like, I haven't been to the doctor since. And it's like, you know what? If my time is now, then let it happen. Whatever. But I don't feel it, and I feel no different than yesterday. So, I don't know, I just don't, I mean, I've been kind of self-healing myself since I was young. And they just, you know, they don't know my body like I know it.
I agree. And then you just wonder, are they just sending me here to like pad up the bill?
Yeah.
You know, kind of like a waitress is trying to get you to order more appetizers and drinks so she gets a bigger tip. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah. It makes them relevant.
So, Dee, do you think that these pharmaceutical drugs are helping us at all, or not, or what?
I of course think, you know, some drugs are very important.
Right.
But on the grand scheme of things, there is so much about preventative medicine and herbal medicine, and we don't know anything about this. So Hindus figured a lot of it out. The Chinese figured a lot of it out.
Yeah.
You don't practice Eastern medicine in this country because you can't patent a drug. You can't patent a plant.
I believe,
how they make any money.
Not only that, I mean, I believe that the substance is just like a placebo to make you feel like these plants. I think that most people are born with the ability to heal themselves from within. I mean, when you cut your finger, you don't look at it and say, oh, I hope you heal. It just miraculously closes itself. And it's like the same thing with cancers, but I don't think people have gotten to that point where they believe they can rid themselves of these things.
Well, we were all born with cancer cells, correct?
Yeah. We're all born dark and light, light and dark. It's like, it's your choice. And, I mean, basically, we're all born with all of this stuff in us, and, you know, they say, oh, this is gonna kill you, that's gonna kill you, these foods. I mean, most of the foods that we eat in America are banned in the rest of the world. Yeah.
Like, Europe thinks our food is garbage.
Oh, yeah.
And China will not grow GMO food.
Yeah,
they got
exactly.
lead and everything, but no, they don't want nothing to do with GMO crops.
Yeah, there you go. Well, lead keeps the people sedative. That's the same thing with fluoride. Barbara Williams was telling me this, and I was just like, get out of your mind, but it's like, basically, fluoride is a sedative. It is? Yeah. Get out of here. Really? And that's, some people think that's a government thing to keep the people calm. Wow. Speaking of that, what do you guys think about?
I said that before.
Yeah. Fluoride, that's what fluoride does. It's like a sedative, and it really has nothing to do with your teeth. Wow, isn't that crazy? It's like, they put that in our mindset that fluoride, oh, you need fluoride for your teeth, and, you know, well, yeah, but it's basically, fluoride does nothing for your teeth, but it's a sedative, so it's like, it's kind of like, they sent out a subliminal message to you saying that, oh, you need fluoride, and we can provide it for you, and then it's basically, fluoride is a sedative to keep you, I mean, if it keeps 80% of the people where they want them, they're happy. There's always 20% that are still wacky and crazy like us anyway.
Well, then that's when the medicinal marijuana comes in, right? What do you guys think about that?
Oh, imagine what they're doing to that and sending it out to people.
Well, so what's the issue now? The government has to figure out a way to tax it and make money off of it.
No, we look at the government like, okay, the government is looking out for us, so they're going to give us the best that they can.
Oh, yeah.
They could be slipping something into anything
All
about
about
us.
us. Right.
Because it's like, you know, it's, you have the belief the government is here to protect me. You know, but I mean, who knows, the government is doing stuff that we don't even want to know about.
True.
Well, what I don't understand about the whole marijuana thing is, okay, well, it's legal in Colorado and a couple other states, whatnot. But what about these businesses who have an online business that, I live in Texas right now. It's not legal in Texas, but, I'm also a teacher, and, we've been hearing from, the police that kids could, you know, take their parents' credit card and go online and order up, you know, the marijuana sold in all kinds of cakes and candies and whatnot. Open themselves up a gift basket of cookies and brownies and whatever laced with marijuana, and then it's shipped to Texas where it's illegal. So I don't really get how they're controlling any of this.
They're not.
No, I didn't think they would allow
I
that.
think it's the way that they're
like that at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think it's the way that they're spreading it. It's a new way to keep people down. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I mean, why are they not like cracking down on where this is and where it goes and all of this?
First of all, I didn't mean to open a whole can of worms, but it is still actually federally illegal everywhere in the country, but it has been decriminalized in a couple of states, which means, I think, basically, you could use a prescription, but you can't grow it, I think. I think that's what the stipulation is, but they're working on that.
So now you can grow it too?
Well, no, it's funny. The only reason I said it is funny because coming down here, I heard a commercial. No, they're actually having schools now where you can learn in Massachusetts.
I heard that.
The up-and-coming industry to cultivate it, to grow it, and to work in the pharmaceutical part. It's like, wow.
Do you get test samples?
Yeah.
Wait, is it a college major?
Well, a good beer maker, he tastes his beer to make sure it's good.
It's like a non-graduate thing. It's probably only a year or something, but yeah.
Like a GED course?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's just. I thought that was curious. Like, wow, we come a long way.
Yeah.
Since that time.
You know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of this really has nothing to do with anything, but just to show how far we've actually come. I was watching Jaws the other night. Yeah, what was that, like 76 or something?
That movie scared the crap out of me.
That's my favorite movie.
I think in a swimming pool.
I watched that. I could watch that 100 times, especially when Captain Quinn gives his speech about how the ship sank. That's the best part right there. He gets deep in that.
I like when
anyway,
eating it.
I was watching just to show how far that we've come.
I like when they sing.
That whole scene is legit.
Yeah.
All right, let me get my point across.
You get your point. Go ahead.
All right. Just to show how far we come, they were like signing the papers and they were sitting in the hospital room smoking cigarettes. Could you even imagine that now?
Well, yeah, they used to smoke on airplanes and everything.
You're not even allowed to like smoke anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, look how far we come. We've just killed smoking so much that it's like, I mean, that was a good shift of consciousness on that. Within a couple of years, like 20 years, probably no one will ever smoke.
I saw last weekend I was doing a DJ gig in a high school, in a football field. Basically the sign said, if you smoke on these grounds, you will be shot. I mean,
you will be shot. Well, we're in Massachusetts. That's what we're like up here.
So how do you think that the drug companies, basically, do they rule the country? Is it the drug companies now, or the insurance companies, or, I mean, who's running the whole thing now?
Well, my book started off with,
I guess
I'm a big conspiracy But,
Whatever.
in my nonfiction
You get
books,
time.
it's all, tons of theories are made into a story. I write a blog,
Trying to
and
keep
I'm
you
always
started,
putting
isn't it?
on conspiracy theories. I even have some people who will
Yes, ma'am.
email me, could you please investigate this point and, write a short article on it, because I think, something's going on here, or something's going on there, and
Take her off mute.
I get a lot of emails about the Pope. A lot of people think that the Pope is the Antichrist. And
Yeah.
I get a lot of emails about Big Pharma. And I wasn't even sure who Big Pharma was. The first email I got, I had to Google what Big Pharma even was. I didn't even know what the hell it was. So I did a lot of research on Big Pharma, and that led into Big Agro, which is Monsanto and Syngenta and DuPont, and the two of them crossed paths at the FDA and the USDA. And when you really get into it, the person who approved blah 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 drug a year later is the CEO of Merck, and the person who approved this hormone for beef cattle or whatever is the vice president of Monsanto, and so it goes. Basically, these corporations are getting their own people to work at the government agency for a brief amount of time to rubber stamp all of their products, and then the people go back into the private sector and, make a couple million bucks a year salary.
Right.
And, in theory, you can't be a lawyer and represent, opposing parties. That's conflict of interest. So why is that legal to do? It's just
Obama sucks.
it's just something they come to me, and the more you get into it, and then you start getting into, the PAC money. The PAC money is very interesting, because a lot of people seem to think that Big Pharma and Big Agro are Republican because they're business. Well, they donate a little bit more to Republicans, but they cover their best. They donate plenty to Democrats. So they're just giving out money, paying these politicians that are giving them favors, and they're appointing their people in these agencies, and round it goes. And all the way up to Obama. Last year in 2013, he did a backdoor deal for Monsanto. At 11 o'clock at night, he signed legislation that no one could ever sue Monsanto if we find out that GMOs are harmful to their health.
Oh, wow.
So it's just my book is facts. They're definitely facts, and I link everything to where I'm getting this information, and I've got the information from the FDA website, the USDA website, the New York Times, Time Magazine, to a conspiracy website, to a radio show such as yours. I mean, I've got my information all over the place. There's no hidden agenda. I was just looking to see what the truth was, and it just kept coming up again and again and again, and something is very, very wrong with the way drugs and Big Agro dealt with in this country, and you can even go as far as to say they're part of New World Order.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's headed in that way. You have, what was the next one? Big Conspiracy.
That's my big conspiracy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know you guys are paranormal ghost hunters, right? Right?
Yeah, we do that, we're busy, but absolutely, I guess, we're not ghost hunters, we're paranormal investigators. We're really, it's funny the way we work, The way we work as a team, there's a couple of teams, but as most of what keeps us busy is myself. I'm a technical guy, more scientific, more the equipment-oriented guy, and Jeff is more the spiritual guy. And together we kind of go throughout and we try to help families and or business owners understand their paranormal situations.
Yeah, we kind of stay away from the public ones now.
Yeah, no, we do most of the time.
Well, not to get off the subject too much, but I have a quick question for you guys.
Yeah?
I thought, we just moved into a brand new house, so it can't be haunted. It was
Yeah, I can.
brand new, but,
No, let it go. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
well, in my dining room, I have my husband's dead mother's chandelier, and I bought the dining room furniture, antiques, from an antique shop that specialized in furniture from France.
Ooh.
Could stuff be haunted?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any idea how old that chandelier was?
Well, it's his dead grandmother's too.
Chandelier's at least 50 years old, and the
Yeah.
furniture is about 200 years old.
Let me ask you a question about her. Can I ask you a question about her? Was she well off, or did she work for everything she had?
She was a middle-class housewife.
Alright, so that chandelier was a big deal to her that she actually got it.
It was, and I assume it's made of some sort of metal?
That was probably the prized possession of her, showing that she was somebody.
Yeah, what's it made of?
Yeah.
What material is it?
Made out of real crystals, and then that gold thing.
Crystals.
Yeah.
So crystals,
Well, not only that, it's
they hold energy.
It's
They hold
her
energy.
Yeah, and it's her attachment to it, because that was her status quo of that time. I mean, she was probably from the 1920s,
Right.
and where things weren't good, but I mean, she's like brought her friends over and it's like, F you like a chandelier.
But which is all well and good, he's right, where she's really attached to it.
Yeah.
There's something very important to her.
That was her crown jewel in life.
My point is material, crystal, and the metal it's made of will really hold that energy.
Yeah,
That's conductive, that will hold the energy.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
the answer, yes. And even people who go to like yard sales, or they bring home haunted dolls, or, in fact, we have a new case coming out real soon, Jeff, I think, that, they had this doll that was 105 years old. It was a ventriloquist, it was a 105-year-old doll.
I don't know if I want to know that one.
No, the picture just creeped me out.
Nah.
Yeah, old things like that.
Why would somebody want that in their house?
They'll hold energy.
Why would somebody want that in their house?
I don't know, dolls creepy.
Dolls and clowns. The clown dolls are the worst.
The Lizzie Borden house has a creepy clown, the clown doll. Oh, it's creepy.
I joined this thing on Facebook. I got an invite to it, to join this creepy doll club. So I go on it, and I'm like, I really don't like creepy dolls, but I'm kind of like, maybe this is a good step for me.
Oh boy.
Why you on here then, creeper? It starts harassing me. But all these dolls, they have like black eyes with like blood coming out of them and stuff. I'm like, really? I need to just get used to dolls. I don't know if I need to go to the extreme to get used to them. Yeah, I mean, they were freaking nasty. I think she knocked me off the list because I was commenting on stuff. Yeah. And as for like, if you pick up antiques and stuff, it's the same thing. If somebody, that was their job and they put a lot into it, and that was like one of their best pieces, or even if it was just like, the energy, even like, you're in a room right now, but when you leave, you still leave an imprint of your energy in that room. So, I mean, energy can easily travel with an object. Yes.
To add to why I'm asking you this is, I got a older German Shepherd, and he's starting to get a little bit senile, so it's kind of what we've been rationalizing anyway. And he wakes us up sometimes in the middle of the night and starts crying, and then leads us into the dining room and sits and stares at the chandelier.
Yeah, wow, that's definitely, yeah. I mean, dogs are really sensitive to that stuff.
And it's happened more than once, which
Yeah.
is pretty significant. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, not good, you know, I mean, that's, to us, that would lead us in the point, like, yeah, maybe at that point, we'd probably start doing like EVP, electronic voice phenomena, or
She,
communicate or take pictures.
She might, do you think he's nearing the end of his life?
Yeah.
She might be here to meet him and to bring him on. Because, you know, spirits of dogs, spirits of everything go to the same place because we're all one source. So she might just be hanging around, waiting for him to go so she can take him with her.
Can I ask you a dumb question?
What? And I just might have been, she might have just been assigned that or something. Yeah, you never know. Good. What?
If a dog was a dog in this life,
Mm-hmm.
would a dog be a dog in the next life?
No.
So it would be a dog.
Alright, think of when you die. We're all like one source, plants, animals, everything. So we all go back to one place with just this big mumbo jumbo, and then you decide, well, geez, maybe I will,
I'm gonna go back as a dog.
yeah, I'll come back as a goat.
Actually, dogs have it made.
Yeah, I'm looking at the dog boy, I was working.
Fed.
Yeah, you sleep, you get a double one poop.
You do all
Yeah, you get people picking your poop. Yeah,
They have it.
what better than that?
No, they have it made.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I was just kind of wondering about that.
Yeah, but I mean, that might be what's happening, you know. She might be here just to wait for him, just to bring him on, because it's like they're all part of the same family when you think about it, because she's seen that the joy that your dog has brought to you.
Dogs are part of
And, you know, he's connected to you, so it's, you know, they know that he's good, and they want to help him to bring him back to source.
Yeah. And dogs are all love,
Yeah.
you know, they're all about being
I guarantee you,
unconditional love.
I hate to put it this way, but when he goes, she'll go too. You know, I hate to make it like sad like that, but that's...
So, do you think so the chandelier really has nothing to do with it?
I think it was like a good trigger object to get her there, to be there. You know, because I mean, it's definitely something that, you know, the way she was raised, because I get the feeling like she was raised poor, but then she moved up into middle class, and then from middle class, she went to, you know, she just saw that chandelier, and it was always a dream of hers since she was little, to have this chandelier, and then when she finally got it, she goes, I did it, that's my social mark in this world, is I have a chandelier. You know, I mean, she probably didn't even have a car, but she had a chandelier.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
That type of person?
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, that was like, she goes, you know, so I mean, that was definitely, took a lot of her energy to manifest and get that chandelier.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely pass this along to my husband, because we never asked anybody professional about it. We had, and I mean, I believe it's a paranormal, but I still want to rationalize it and be like, well, the dog's senile. Well, I just try to rationalize things, but sometimes there's just no good excuse.
Yeah.
Not if the dog was, you know, doing a repetitive thing, you know, not just, same old, going to the chandelier kind. That was kind of...
I mean, the thing is
that's the telltale sign.
not all of life can be, you know, described by science yet, because science can't fathom. I mean, they're trying to figure out.
That's what we try.
I mean, I believe that there's more life out there than us, and I believe that we're all connected to that same source I was talking about, that me and, you know, us and the dog are connected to. I believe that there's other planets that are connected to that same source too. Yeah, and I mean, where do you go when you die? I mean, it's all connected, and you know, I mean, and like her, you know, your husband's grandmother can come back to this dimension, and you know, the dog will go there, and you need to start again.
Do you guys believe in aliens?
Yep, I do.
so.
How can there not be?
I think so. There's probably intelligent life on some other planet, out in some galaxy far away. Yeah, probably. I'd say probably.
I mean, it's
More than I believe in
Me
Bigfoot.
too.
yeah, because I mean, it's
Yeah.
you believe in them?
Bigfoot?
No, Bigfoot.
There's definitely some creature out there with, that's oversized and, leaving footprints around. I don't know if he's Sasquatch or Bigfoot, but yeah, why not?
Maybe he's only 2 feet tall, but he has big feet.
You know what they say about big feet?
Yeah.
Big shoes. Oh, that's funny. I don't know about the aliens. Yeah, I think so. You said yes for aliens, right, Dina?
I'm researching right now for my next book. I watch a lot of ancient aliens, and I'm reading this one book called Fingerprints of the Gods, and before that, I read that one by Eric. The guy who invented ancient alien theory, Eric Van Daniken.
Yeah, wow, that's a long name. I was gonna say Eric Estrada, he was the Chips guy, right?
Dina, have you ever heard of Bashar?
What's Bashar?
No.
Bashar is a,
Sort of ice cream.
it's this guy, I forget his name, or I know it, but Daryl something. But anyway, Bashar is supposedly, it's an alien that channels through him, and he's basically, just watch his YouTube videos. I can't even explain it. You're gonna think I'm nuts until you watch them and they start making sense. But it's an alien that channels through him, and he's on YouTube, and he basically, he's kind of like, you ever hear of Abraham Hicks?
It sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah, because Abraham Hicks is the same thing. It's they're famous. They go all over the world. And it's Esther Hicks. She gets channeled by this alien that calls himself Abraham. And it's basically, it gives you like law of attraction and beliefs and all this stuff. And it's supposedly the aliens are going to be coming here at some point. And I mean, there's theories out there. I mean, there's one theory I agree. I mean, one of the reasons that the world right now is so overpopulated is because there's going to be a major shift and a major change, and a lot of souls came back to see this. I mean, because the world is like just jamming right now with people. But it's like a lot of the souls that were up in heaven, they wanted to come back and, be reincarnated to take a part of this, because something big is going to happen. Yeah, I'd say within the next 10 years.
So this guy's kind of like a prophet for aliens?
Listen to him and tell me,
What's his name again?
Bashar. You guys listen to him, and Dina, you friend me on Facebook. I'm Jeffrey Legier, and talk to me in a week after you listen to him and say, wow, those ideas kind of make sense of where the aliens will come from and all this stuff.
I find all this stuff really interesting.
Yeah, it's like, check that out. Check his videos out and you'll be hooked once you watch them. They'll be like, wow, these really make sense. They talk about, he has this one, and then it's the way he talks so fluently. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's the, like aliens talking through him, or if it's just source and these ideas are coming into his mind as he's but the way he talks so fluently, like when someone like me or you, we try to get an idea what we think about it first, and then it comes out. It's not like fluent. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just like flows.
Like kind of like he's talking in tongues type of thing?
No, he's talking in English so you can understand.
He speaks before thinking.
Alright, I pretty much said enough about it, but,
Yeah, no, I don't know.
just watch his videos and tell me what you think. because it's, I find them very interesting, his videos. They just, I don't know, they make a lot of sense when you listen to them. On how the belief systems work and how, like, karma and law of attraction and all that stuff. And, I mean, it just, I don't know, I like it.
Sounds interesting. You need to check it out.
You can find more of them at angelsguide.org. That's my website, Dina.
Dina, I'm reading your bio a little bit. It says when you're not writing, you're reading novels from your favorite authors, Dan Brown, Anne Rice, Stephen King, Brad Dorr, George Martin, and Preston and Childs. But actually, I recognize a few of these authors. Stephen King stands out most to us. I mean, of course, being from Maine.
No, yeah. Who doesn't know Stephen King?
Oh, he's great. He's great.
Anne Rice. I've heard of Anne Rice.
I just saw a movie from him. It was a short novel from Stephen King. It was called Room 1408. Are you familiar with that one?
Ooh. No, is it good?
Oh, it's great. It's about, it's kind of a paranormal thing, and I don't generally watch those kind of movies, but this guy was he was an author, and he was a non-believer, and he went in this room 1408 that the guy begged him not to take, and he took it. It was just insane. You've seen all these apparitions and ghosts and things that happen. Yeah, it was a great movie. But I love Stephen King.
He's awesome, man. Look at the range that he writes in too.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
All this stuff.
But do these authors influence your own work at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I'm a fan of writers who have more of a plot going than more into the characters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like some writers
That's a good way to
want
put
to
it.
blather on forever about the character.
Yeah.
I get bored as a reader with that.
That's a good point.
I hate to say this is probably a bad thing to say, but I think men in general are better writers because they have a better storyline going, where the women get hung up on
Details.
And the room was decorated and this and blah blah blah, and I'm like 20 pages about what the room looked like.
The flowers in the vase to the left were shimmering.
Yeah. Joke.
I know it sounds kind of bad considering I'm a woman myself. I don't have time for all that.
No. Get to the point. You think about it, even like
For ADD people.
for a screenplay, like a TV show, it's the ones that kind of end in suspense and they keep moving along, that keep you going with them.
Yeah.
Like right now I'm watching Gotham. Gotham's a good show. Gotham is an awesome show. It's like the show that you can't wait for next week because it moves right along. It's like,
You know what I don't get?
Commissioner Gordon, they pinned him on a murder, and before the end of the show he's off and it doesn't drag for 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's stupid. They're not, she's talking, well, with the details, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but it's like the storyline is what's important, not all what happens to Gordon and going to prison and all that crap, They get him out quick and he's on the streets again. It's quick. I like
that. Quick, to the point.
And then they end it with a good something to like, this is gonna happen next week.
Well, yeah, they're gonna leave me hanging.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch American Horror Story?
Oh, I love that show.
I just started watching it on
I love that show.
on Hulu.
It's really gory.
I've seen the first 2 of the first season.
Oh, it's great. It's so out there.
I saw that.
Oh, God, it's out there.
Did you see the pilot one?
Yes.
Where that guy in the black leather suit went and had sex with the lady and she thought it was her husband?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So now
But it changes, totally changes every year. Like, it was like witches or something before, right? It totally changes.
Yeah. It was the Coven, and then it was the Haunted House, and then it was the Asylum, and now it's the Big Show.
Yeah. Now, was that the series that started in Salem? Were they back in Salem, Mass? Was that the one?
The Witches one was in Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana, okay.
New Orleans.
Like,
we can't get credit for all witches.
No, that was a great show.
We're in Salem right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're from Salem, Mass.
Is that a really great place to go and tour for horror fans, or?
Oh, yeah.
If you want to even buy witch stuff, you can buy it here.
Yeah, it's, well,
We have witch shops.
we're the Halloween capital of the world. It's crazy here at Halloween time, for the whole month. I do, ghost hunting tours here, but, mine's a little different. I take out, the real ghost hunting equipment, like thermal cameras, and, we do all kinds of audio and stuff, and we go around and do, it's very good. It's very busy business, around, September, October, November, anyway. It's a great place. It's a lot of history here.
Oh, I would love to do that. That sounds like a blast.
Yep, it's a lot of fun.
Sounds like a great vacation.
Yep, come on down. Definitely around October, it's crazy. Book way ahead though, because it gets so busy, with hotels and everything. It's a great place to visit. And October's beautiful here too. It's not too cold, usually. It did snow a couple of years ago, but it's generally pretty nice. It's a nice place to visit.
That's definitely on my bucket list of places to go, and of course New Orleans, and kind of the more creepy horror, witch, voodoo type places. That's kind of, I really like to check those out.
Yeah, they're always fun. So, what are you working on in the future? What's next?
Well, I'm definitely doing a lot of research on aliens.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of chapters done. That's going to be my next book about a guy who tries to screw over his wife, who happens to be an alien. And as with all of my books, I do a ton of research in there, just because I want the reader to learn something. I don't just want to be entertained. I want him to, walk away and enjoy learning something. I am a teacher by trade, and the more I investigate aliens, the more I can't help but wonder how long our history books are. It's just incredible. One book I was reading, the guy, it was called De-Evolution, or Debunking Evolution. It was by one of those ancient alien guys. And one of the things I picked out of that was he could basically prove that man has been around for millions of years, and there's all these buildings all over the world that man must have at the very least been involved in designing, and there's bones that, using scientists carbon dating, that the humans or the hominids are at least, 500,000 to 1 million years old. And if you believe in evolution, that can't be, because according to evolution, humans didn't evolve till 150,000 years ago. But then, using their own carbon dating tests, how are we finding all of these skeletons that show 500,000, 1 million years ago? So it was really interesting, and he brings up the point where, how could we have built this, and how could we have built that, and not blah blah blah, if we had no technology? And that leads to the question of, were aliens here, hundreds of thousands of years? And it's really quite fascinating. And all over South America, especially, there's all kinds of structures that,
The Mayans.
5,000 tons.
The Mayans were aliens.
Laser cut. Yeah, the Mayans, they got all kinds of, the Egyptians.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking. Did they have something to do with the pyramids?
Look at Stonehenge. How the hell could he do that?
It's baffling.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, there's no way that we could do Stonehenge. After one, they'd be like, oh, that's enough. They couldn't do them all.
Take a
Yeah.
century, yeah.
You know, and Stonehenge is built right on a ley line, which has electromagnetic energy going through it.
Lots
So,
of it.
yeah, I mean, it goes right through, and there's like a lot of energy, and if there's other beings that know how to harness that energy to pick those rocks up, I mean, all these scientists right now, they're looking for, if you know, the ones that are actually probably know about aliens, because I'm sure that there's some scientists that actually have proof that there is alien life out there.
Oh,
But
yeah, there is.
they're trying to figure out their ships, and they're like, oh, well, this fuel, that fuel, it could have nothing to do with fuel. It could be run by their minds. I mean, they could just manifest and project themselves.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. How do you know? We can't fathom the way that they travel.
Yeah.
We have no clue. I mean, we're looking at fuel, they're like probably beyond fuel, and they're looking at like, I'm curious, they just project like a teleport, like in Star Trek.
If they were here thousands of years ago, why were they here and then they left?
Because they interbred with us. We're not aliens.
Oh, that's why.
That's a big, yeah. Like, how did we go from caveman, you know, living in a cave, using a stick for a hammer to, you know, now we're on the super internet highway in a very short amount of time?
Because we interbred with aliens, and aliens started our life form.
Oh, man. Really?
Yeah,
Right.
they did. See, you agree with me?
That explains.
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, think about it. How did life evolve and become what it is now? I mean, look what we have now compared to back then.
Yeah.
But see, the big problem is, a lot of people, which this is going to start changing in the years to come, but a lot of people still have that caveman mentality of fight or flight, which keeps them in fear of what they really want to do in life. And
Yeah.
if you think about it, that's still built into us where we fight or flight, and you know, we don't make rational decisions. We're afraid of what the outcome is going to be, so we don't do it, or we run away for it.
You know, I have to interject, you know that whole fight or flight thing, sometimes that can be not just mental, but physical.
Yes.
And so it's the physical thing, it's the adrenaline rush, and sometimes that adrenaline rush will make you either really like pumped up and fired up, or really nervous and timid or afraid.
It's fight or flight. It's basically simple.
It's a physical thing.
It's built into everybody. It's basically, it's something that we carried with us since the caveman, which we really don't need anymore.
Like the liver.
Yeah.
No, not the liver. Spleen.
No, yeah, or appendix.
Appendix, that's it. We don't need the
If you want to, that's what you do a body part, we need the appendix. It's like we're born with it, and then what does it do?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, back then, I mean, I don't even know like my history, but when were like Stonehenge and all that stuff done? Was it all close at the same time that and the pyramids being built and all that?
A little later, right?
I don't know. Do they coincide at the same time?
Like years ago, before there was even the wheel, before some of that stuff, it was before the wheel was even invented. So how would that disproves the whole pulley theory?
Yeah.
The wheel wasn't invented, didn't have a pulley.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So they had no wheels, they had no pulleys. So I mean, this had to be done. I'm telling you, it's done with your mind. It's, you know, it's either a collective group, but they just kind of focus on picking that rock up or something. It's because there's no other way. I mean, what do those rocks weigh?
I can't believe that.
How many tons do they weigh? I mean, there's no way that, and where are they going? They're about 20 feet in the air.
It's a headway.
On two that are standing straight up.
Right.
So, you know what? I mean, here's a theory. I got a theory. What if this was just like a practice ground for aliens on working on their mind control to pick rocks up?
Earth?
Yeah.
Or the pyramids?
Like the Stonehenge and everything. Everything that's like these wonders of the world. What if those were just like practice areas for these aliens to learn how to do what they can do? And they were nothing more than that, but we look at them as like these sacred relics.
We're just basically practice for their real planet.
Yeah, it's all in how you perceive it. We kind of look at them like these great, wonderful things, but then for them, they were probably just their gym to work out in.
Yeah. I also want to add that I'm a Christian.
Go to your website.
When you read the Bible, a lot of these accounts with angels coming down really coincide very closely with the ancient alien theory. So, could angels be aliens and aliens be angels?
Well, that's why I go back to my first point of, we're not the only ones that are connected to this source. I think other beings are connected to it too. That kind of goes under that. Are angels just another race of aliens? Like you said, I agree with that. That could be possible.
There's too many angel sightings, and
Get it done.
they didn't have an extensive vocabulary, so why not just call them all the same thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent point. And with that, Dina Ray, tell our listeners where they can find your books and where they can get in touch with you on social media, please.
I would love to. My website is dinarae.co. My blog is dinaraeswritestuff.blogspot.com, and that's dinarae.writestuff.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter, and my handle's @Halo of the Damned. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Pinterest. I'm sure I'm missing some social media here. I'm a big fan of the net. And you're welcome to look me up. You got a question or a post idea, whatever, feel free to contact me.
I'll friend you on Facebook.
Me too.
Cool.
All right, Dina Ray, thank you so much for calling Everything Paranormal with Mark and Jeff. It's been our pleasure. You have a great night. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina.
Thank you, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. She was good, huh?
Call it a lesson. Yep. Yeah, she was good, actually, yeah.
That's it. Everything Paranormal with Mark and Jeff. We will see you next week. Hopefully, what's your address?
30 Boyle Street,
right here in Beverly, Mass. For our private fundraising paranormal investigation this Saturday night at 8 o'clock.
Just show up, we'll explain.
Just show up, and it's going to be wicked cheap and wicked fun. We'll see you. Have a good night.